Hello everybody and welcome to Development Communication 208, which is communication, social marketing, and social mobilization. Our group was assigned to Module 1, which is the context of social marketing and social mobilization. And I was assigned to discuss with you the three subtopics, which are the personal tragedy, uncovered evidence, and pseudo events. But before we move forward to our discussion, let me introduce myself to you. I am Raquel Dayan Ashment, and I am your reporter for today. Since we have a limited time, I would like to maximize the allotted time, which I believe is only 10 to 12 minutes. So let me go ahead and start my report by asking you guys this question. How do social problems emerge on the public radar screen? Okay, so let's discuss the first subtopic, which is the personal tragedy. So personal tragedy, when an already troublesome issue reaches a critical proportion. Let's say, for example, a small child becomes a casualty in a drive-by shooting. A homeless person freezes to death in a doorway on a bitter winter night. A factory closes and the local unemployment rate skyrockets. So everyone hopes not to have to reach this point before people pay attention, but sometimes changing people's perceptions is very difficult. Sometimes it takes a crisis to make getting your issue on the local agenda possible. I have an example for you guys. So let me take you back to 2019. This was the time when I went home to the Philippines. So during this time, there was an emerging societal issue that within a few barangays in my city, and this issue was about stray dogs causing harm and posing as a public threat, especially to our young children. They also were often loud. You know, sometimes dogs are loud sometimes, and they cause public nuisance. So this issue emerged on the public radar because of the increasing complaints from the community itself. So good news is that because we live in a digital world, awareness was a lot fast. Sharing information to increase awareness was a lot faster, and that because this issue was shared on social media, it became widely known throughout the community. And this certain issue was given attention to by the local government of Malaybalay City. And as a result, they were able to remind the people to be responsible about their pet and their animals. And they were also able to intensify anti-rabies campaign. Alright, so before I proceed to my next example, I would like to let you know that if you are sensitive about the topics like suicide, abuse, or bullying, I would like to express my intention that I am sharing this information for reference and for educational purposes only. Okay, so a few days ago, there was a teenage girl who died from suicide after she got bullied from her school, and that incident happened at a New Jersey high school here in the United States. There are at least 4 teenage girls who were seen attacking her. So this incident was captured in a video and then later on shared on TikTok rather. After the parents learned about the bullying incident, eventually they talked to the school administration, but then no actions were taken by the school. So even though it was not initially taken seriously, this bullying incident was shared online, right? So it went viral and somehow it emerged on the public radar screen. But then again, it was too late. So the teenage girl died from suicide. So by that, there was another life taken, or another precious life was gone. So we all know that bullying is unacceptable, and however, I think that there is a need to enforce school policy properly to stop incidents like this, especially bullying, from happening. All right, so let's go ahead and move forward to our second subtopic. Okay, so let's talk about uncovered evidence. An example of uncovered evidence in relation to a social problem could be the uncovering of widespread police brutality and racial profiling against communities of color. This evidence may come to light through the release of body camera footage, witness testimony, or data analysis of police stop and frisk practices. It can also serve as a catalyst for policy changes aimed at addressing the problem and promoting greater accountability and transparency in policing. Alright, so let me give you an example so we will be able to understand what is uncovered evidence. There was a Black American who was a victim of police brutality, and I am not sure if this incident was reported to the Philippines, but then again, this incident was all over the United States, and it was covered by the news media. The unexpected death of Mr. George Floyd, who was a Black American, led to Black Americans and human rights activists to rally, and worse was that his death led to a lot of national rioting and protesting. And in addition, it was the catalyst that led the Black Lives Matter movement. So his untimely homicide called the public attention because apparently there were witnesses who were able to capture a video during the time of his death, and later on was shared to social media, and then eventually it led to a lot of commotion. So indeed, police brutality is something very intense. It is a societal problem that needs to be resolved. So let me give you another example of uncovered evidence, which is the hate crimes against Asian. I believe that this issue or this social problem was obviously occurring and happening already, but it wasn't yet brought to light, or it wasn't yet reached the public radar screen until some videos of this incident emerged, especially during COVID-19. So there was like influx of video that went viral about Asian hate crimes. You know, some people would blame the Asian communities because of the COVID-19 and, you know, throw some hurtful words, which is very heartbreaking, and it's so sad that it is really happening. Right, so let's move on to pseudo events. Pseudo means events are carefully choreographed, following a prepared script and leaving nothing to chance. In order to maximize the event's exposure, they are scheduled in advance, and journalists are informed of the specific time when the event will occur. Pseudo events are designed to be dramatic, to make them interesting to the public, and they tend to generate iconic images such as big enthusiastic crowds. Pseudo events can include press conference, advertisements, speeches, and other similar events covering issues with little value in terms of content and importance. To better understand pseudo events, I would like to give you an example. Way back in 2017, there was a video that circulated in social media, and also this incident was also reported in the national television. This incident was in relation with the former president Erap Estrada, and where they organized a cleanup drive at the Manila Bay. But then after long hours of cleaning and hard work, you know, some of his staff were caught throwing the garbage back to the bay. So for the reason that, so that the the former president will have the opportunity to, you know, get a photo for documentation or for maybe publicity. But then again, I couldn't judge the intention of the former president, but that is one of the best example of pseudo events. And accordingly, before that event took place, they also invited the media to cover the event to generate publicity. To wrap up this discussion, let me give you a little recap rather of our discussion today. We discussed about personal tragedy, we discussed about uncovered evidence, and as well as pseudo events. I do believe that in the context of social mobilization and social marketing, advancements and communications technology have allowed for what used to be personal or localized tragedies to become larger issues. Technologies like video recording, social medias, or crowdfunding, the accessibility to printed materials. Let's say, for example, newspaper, magazine, brochure, pamphlets. These materials and technologies have made localized events to become nationally and internationally recognized by the public and the government. All right, so I do hope that you learned something from me today, and I wanted to extend my thanks to you guys for coming, listening, and also watching my report. Again, this is your reporter, Raquel Dian Ashment, and I do hope that I will get insights from you so we could also engage together. I will see you around, and that's it for today. Have a great day.